Becoming rich is a very boring process. For most of us, it's not about building $1 million business and going from zero to here in 1 year span, but about constant, boring and sometimes very unnoticeable everyday work. This video is not a financial advice or a guide on how to become rich, but rather me sharing my personal plan on becoming wealthy over time, which some of you may find interesting and handy for yourself. So let's begin. Mindset is a very important factor in becoming wealthy over time. I'm not talking about crazy things being pushed by get-rich-quick gurus, such as visualizing your success. I'm talking about your attitudes toward money and spending in particular. It can be described by one very simple phrase: it's better to have money than to spend money. When I say better, I mean that life for me feels way better this way, at least mentally. One of the best examples of this rule is related to cars, actually. I'm not a petrolhead, however, as every man, I want to own a cool car at one point in my life. But right now I drive a better car. However, when I drive around on the roads and see other people driving better cars, I do not feel bad, since I know that I can afford to buy this car right now, since I saved a lot of money by driving an old car, which is maybe a little bit less reliable, but way cheaper. The same goes for each and every aspect of life. If you have enough money saved up, you feel more calm, since you know that you can afford yourself to have an emergency. You can afford to buy medicine, you can afford to remove a teeth, you can afford to remove a flat tire, or maybe even buy a new car if it's actually very much needed. And this of course goes on and on. When you look into the bank account and you see that you can live for half a year, 2, 3 or more years just from your savings, working a 9-to-5 job becomes much easier, since you realize that in reality you have a choice and an option to leave whenever it has become uncomfortable for you or will keep you calm in case of getting fired. And let me tell you, this provides a feeling which actually can be bought directly for money. It can be obtained just by saving money. It provides you with a peace of mind. It doesn't matter how much you earn, but how much you spend. I totally understand that life situation of each and every one of you can be completely different, and there is a chance that for some of you it's factually impossible to save money. However, I believe that for most of my audience, which according to YouTube analytics comes from the world first countries, it's possible to save money despite of the job you are occupying. When you begin your journey of budgeting and saving money, it doesn't actually matter how much you save every month. What matters is the habit formation. Let's say you work at a fast food restaurant with a very minimal wage and really struggle with the money, yet it's still more than possible for you to save, let's say, $20 a month. Begin with small steps, however, strive to earn more. And when you start to earn more and advance in your career, try your best not to spend this additional money and not to upgrade your lifestyle, but to save those. Of course, it's not always possible, yet you should strive for that. Make sure to cover the necessities, and when I say necessities, I mean accommodation, food, transportation and health. Everything else is not a necessity. Driving a car instead of public transportation for most of the people is not a necessity, except you live in the United States. Moving to the bigger flat is not a necessity, and buying a brand new clothes is not a necessity either. This concept is closely related to budgeting and living below your means. However, speaking in human and simple language, I mean that you just should have enough for non-fancy day-to-day lifestyle. Not more and not less, just enough. So when you cover all of the necessities, save the rest, save aggressively. And when you will receive a pay raise at your current job, or when you will switch a job and get some bonus money, make sure to save those and not to upgrade your lifestyle. That is how you go from saving $20 per month to $100 to $500 to $1,000 and more. And that is the only way for most of the people to become wealthy over time. This leads us to the next topic of looking rich and caring about status. When I was younger, I cared about brands, since I was stupid and studying at school where everyone valued cool sneakers and hoodies with huge logo on it. So after receiving my first paycheck of about 300 euros, I went and bought these sneakers, since I thought that those are cool. Now I realize that in those I looked like a clown actually. I sometimes still wear those 5 years later, and those shoes are, actually pretty good. I can't really complain about the quality of those, but I of course shouldn't have spent 300 euros on those, and those serve as a reminder for me not to spend such amount of money on unnecessary stuff, on unnecessary clothes. But I should say that those are, of a pretty good quality. And it would have been way better if I would have invested these 300 euros and after that another 200 euros back then, since they would already be doubled in value considering the overall stock market performance. Thank God I stopped caring about looking cool and fancy after high school and started buying my clothes at, just normal average mass market. For example, this t-shirt was like 2 or 3 or 5 bucks. Yeah. I buy clothes that do not actually have any kind of brands on those, since I realized this is just a way for these huge corporations to make additional money by trying to sell you a status symbol, right? You buy this Gucci t-shirt, right? And you do not buy a t-shirt, you buy a status sign, You walk on the streets and everyone else realizes that, oh man, this guy spent like 300 bucks on a t-shirt. So that is a way for this company to sell you not the clothes, but the status. And when you do not care about that, you actually can save way more. And after school and university, I started working in the finance field, and let me tell you, most of the people who have significant wealth do not look rich. They just quietly exist. They walk among us, some with millions on their accounts, and look like average men. Most of them drive old and reliable cars, and you will never tell that this person is in fact a millionaire. Some of them look even worse than an average Joe, since they do not care. Their confidence and their status is in their mind, and they do not have to prove it to anyone else. That is the mindset that I strive for, since the only person we have to prove something to is ourselves. However, I need to make a small remark here to be completely honest with you. When answering to a question, do you want to have a very cool car and a huge mansion, my answer is of course, yes, I do. Yet I think that in order to afford such things, you should be able to buy those without taking out 20 loans for that, right? You should be able to finance that yourself, and financing these things shouldn't be of any financial trouble for you, It must be a normal amount of money for you to go and buy a G-Wagon, let's say for $200,000, right? $200,000 should be a normal amount of money for you. You should have like millions more saved and invested somewhere. That is actually my logic behind all of that. Having nice things isn't bad at all, it's great. We all strive for having good things. That is actually the logic behind capitalism, right? To strive for more, to strive to buy, new and better stuff, but we should control it. We should control our minds, and we should be able to say no to ourselves. We should be able to understand what we really need and what we really can afford, without putting ourselves into financial struggles. Everything that I just said might feel very boring, since I am not talking about how to make millions in 2 years' time, gamble your savings with crypto meme coins, and drive a Lamborghini at the age of 21. And I wholeheartedly believe that it is boring since it actually works. Life is hard and, in general, pretty boring. It's about making small steps toward your big goal down the road. And because of that, each everyday step might not feel as exciting and cool to live through. Yet I think that this is the goal for every one of us, to learn how to enjoy our life today as it is, while also thinking about investing in our future. And right now I want to thank all of you for watching this video and wish you all a great luck and success with your everyday small steps. If you did like this video, make sure to press the like button, and of course don't forget to join my Discord server, link is down in the description, where I will be more than happy to discuss any video of mine with you. See you soon, and bye for now.